Today's trip was an exciting trip for us. We would be crossing Lake Michigan, which would be a big step for us. We've crossed many parts of Lake Huron and Georgian Bay, but it just felt different than those crossings. That was our home turf, and we've been navigating those waters for many, many years, whereas the thought of crossing Lake Michigan, to Chicago no less, was something of a big deal. Our travels today were 61 miles and took us from St. Joseph, Michigan, to Monroe Harbor in the Chicago downtown area. Staying in downtown Chicago was a real treat, but the actual trip across the lake itself was uneventful. It was downright easy, and the water was very smooth.
Well, good morning, everyone. We are on our way to Chicago, and I can't believe this is Lake Michigan. Yesterday, people said the lake was very uncomfortable. A couple of days ago, it was brutal. And today, we're seeing some swells. They keep sort of switching direction where they're coming from, but we really can't complain. This morning, we left St. Joseph. So it is back here somewhere. St. Joseph, Michigan. And we will check in later when we can see the skyline of Chicago. Okay, we can see Chicago. I think we are about 3 hours or so. I got confused. The time changed on us. It was funny, exactly at 12 noon, the clocks flipped back to 11 a.m. So anyway, oddly, you can see Chicago ahead. There's a bit of a haze there. I had been downstairs for a bit and came upstairs, and I could smell this smell. And I went running around the boat thinking there's got to be something burning somewhere. And Cam called me back upstairs and said, I can see Chicago. So we smelled it before we saw it. It has been in this haze, almost like a little cloak hiding it from us. Anyway, I will show you more when we get closer. It's pretty hard to see. It's about an hour since I last videotaped. We are quite a bit closer now. Definitely can see the skyline. Can smell it a bit more now too. We are just starting to be able to see some detail and kind of figuring out where we are going, which is going to be, we're going to go right about there. All right, see you later. Well, here we are. We are in Chicago. We are miraculously tied up to our mooring ball. That's another story. And there is the city skyline. We have friends on this boat right behind us, off leash, who we met a few days ago, I guess. And I just have to show you, because this is the crazy part. We have picked up many mooring balls in our days while sailing in the southern climate in the Caribbean. And never once have we seen one like this. There it is. It had no lines attached to it. And fortunately, Cam managed to hail the guy who does the tender, and he came out and he looped it for us. And then when I asked him how we were supposed to do it, he said, well, you back up to it with your stern, you get your lines on it then, and then you carry it to the front. So, because that's something that's easy to do.
Monroe Harbor was unlike anything we'd experienced thus far in the Great Lakes. To be in downtown Chicago was such a treat. The anchorage was not always the most comfortable place to be, especially in a southeast wind, but we loved it just the same. The mooring balls are all in rows and they're lettered A, B, C, etc. Then they are numbered. We were in row N, ball 7. You find your row, then you head down the fairway toward your mooring ball. It was really quite simple to find the ball. A free tender service is offered if you take a mooring ball in Monroe Harbor. So while it may not be quite as convenient as having a slip, it was quite a bit less money than taking a slip and only slightly less convenient. We spent several days in Chicago enjoying the sights. We found it to be a very clean city that was very tourist-friendly. The trip would not be complete without stopping at Lou Malnati's for Chicago deep dish pizza. Wow, was that ever good. Very filling though, so order a small one or be prepared for leftovers. Another must-do was the hop-on, hop-off tour and a trip to the Bean. In addition, the architectural tour was fantastic. We found this to be especially interesting as we would be navigating these waters in just a few short days. The ability to enjoy the sights and sounds are much better as a passenger than when you're at the helm checking bridge heights, navigating, and generally being preoccupied as either captain or first mate.
Boom! There she is. That is Chicago going right through the heart of the city. Something so unique about Chicago, unique about this tour, is that our river here, the Chicago River, it cuts right through the heart of downtown. So you get this really unique perspective on this tour to see the city from that you really can't get anywhere else. So I'm very excited to share that with you all today. But the first tower I'm going to talk about is over here on your left. It's one of our tallest, one of our newest, and one of my favorites. And that's the very tall and very wavy St. Regis over here on your left. The St. Regis is the third tallest tower in Chicago at nearly 1,200 feet. But this is actually the tallest tower in the entire world, designed by a woman-led architecture firm, Studio Gang. This is a design by a local Chicago architect named Jeannie Gang. Jeannie Gang. I love Jeannie Gang. I think she's designed some of the most visually stunning buildings in the whole city. This is certainly the centerpiece of her work, and we'll see more of her designs as we go through the river.
You will have to go on the tour yourself to enjoy the rest of the architectural river tour. But we found it to be good value. We bought a 3-attraction pass called the Go City Chicago Explorer Pass through Expedia, which gave us a great deal and saved us some money. Our choices for tours were the hop-on, hop-off tour, the architectural tour, and the planetarium.
This is absolutely surreal to me. This is the view from our boat. I think it just struck me like we're used to going on little runs with the boat, I guess, but we have boated all the way to the city of Chicago, and our view of the city lights is amazing. And I can find it hard to believe. I can hardly believe that we are here.